Good morning. Today we are starting book 2 of our math program because it is trimester 2. So we will have objectives 29 to 50. We can see our first unit is unit 4, and we're going to be focusing on percentages. So let's look at CO29. And because my smart board is acting up on me, I am going to switch over to my document camera, and I'm going to write on a blank board that I have. So let me switch over. And instead of writing on the smart board like I normally do, I am going to write on here for our note taking. So CO29 is I can convert percentages and fractions. So we are going to go back and forth between those percentages and fractions. So the first thing we need to know is what the definition of percent is. So Madeline, what do you think the definition of percent is? Out of 100. So it literally means out of 100. So per, out of, cente is Latin for 100. So 71% literally means 71 out of 100. This can be written as 71 out of 100. What do we have as our denominator? Melanie? 100. Magic number for working with percents. That 100 as your denominator, magic number. You're going to have to remember that one. So 49% literally means 49 out of 100. How can that be written? Liam? 49 over 100. So 161% literally means 161 out of 100. How would I write that? Dom? 161 over 100. So 25% literally means 25 out of 100. This can be written as what? Hannah Mae? 25 over 100. Yes, you do need to simplify those fractions. 71, 49, 161, those are all as simple as they can get over 100. But 25 over 100, what can we simplify that down to, Jimena? 1/4. We could divide by 25. 25 divided by 25 is 1. 100 divided by 25 is 4. So we talked about when we worked with fractions, how important it is that final step is always to simplify. When we're working with the fractions with the percent, our final step is to simplify the fraction. Do we always simplify? No, because sometimes it's as simple as it gets. But sometimes we do have to simplify it down even lower. So you have to check, can I simplify it? Zelda, did you have a question?
No, I was just saying you could also simplify it down to 5/20.
So 5/20 is not as low as we can go. So you're right, we could have divided out a 5 and we would have gotten 5/20, but then we could divide another 5 out and we get that 1/4. So when we simplify, you want to go as low as you can go. So you always have to look, did I go low enough? Sometimes you have to simplify twice. So now we're going to convert each percent to a fraction. Write your answer in simplest form. So you're not just going to put your percent over 100. You have to see, can I simplify? So what would I do? What would I write first off? What is the first thing I'm going to write for 82%? Dom. 82 over 100. We always just put the percent over 100, and then I have to look, can I simplify? So is 82 hundredths as simple as it can go, or can I divide something out of 82 and 100? Dom? I can divide it by 2 because I see both ones place has an even number. So I'm going to divide it by 2. 82 divided by 2 is 41. 100 divided by 2 is 50. Can I simplify it any more? No, that's as simple as I can get. So that is my final answer. I'm going to circle it so I know it's my final answer. Let's look at 75%. What is the first fraction that I write for 75%? Madeline? 75 over 100. Can I simplify it any more? Melanie, what can I divide out?
First, I divided it by 5, and then I realized that you can divide it again.
Okay, so when we divide it by 5, what did you get?
15/20, and then I divided it by 5 again and got 3/4.
So it's like we were talking about with Zelda. Sometimes we divide it by a number and we go, oh, I can divide it again. And that's okay. You could have said, oh, I can divide it by 25. And then you would have gotten that 3/4 right away. Sometimes you don't catch that. And you divide it by 5. And then you realize you need to divide again. I would appreciate no commenting back and forth to each other. I know you're not using words, but your expressions are speaking a lot, and I'm reading your expressions, and it's distracting me and distracting your classmates. So 75 hundredths can be simplified down to 3/4. Like I said, you divide it one time and you realize you can go simpler. It's okay, but you have to keep going. You can't stop and say, well, I simplified it to 15/20, because that's not the simplest form. You always have to see how low you can go. Madeline? Yeah, you could have done the 25 right from the start, but sometimes we don't realize what the bigger number is. So either way, we would have gotten the same answer of 3/4. Let's look at 9%. What would 9% become? What fraction is 9%? I have 2 people with their hands up. Who can tell me what fraction is 9%? Marina. Say it louder. So what is the first fraction we're going to put, Marina? What is our magic number we have to put under our percent?
100.
Yeah, so we want that 100 on the bottom. What goes on the top? 9. So 9 hundredths, you're wanting that to be 1/3. So in order to get to 1/3, what would we have to divide by? In order to get a 1 as a numerator, we'd have to say 9 divided by 9, right? Because 9 divided by 9 is 1. Can we do 100 divided by 9? No, 100 is not divisible by 9, because if we add up those 3 digits, 1 plus 0 plus 0, it's only a 1. Is there a different number we could divide 9 and divide 100 by? Remember our last unit when we were talking about those divisibility rules? Is 9 divisible by a same number that 100 is? Zelda?
It could be divided by a 2, getting us 4.5.
So do we want decimals? No. So if it's divisible by a number, you will get a whole number as an answer. So in order to be divisible by something, we don't want any decimals. So we don't want to simplify down to decimal points. We want to simplify down to whole numbers. So 9 and 100 do not share a same factor that we could divide out of it. So it is as simple as it gets. We don't always have to simplify. Sometimes it's already as simple as it gets. But remember, whatever you divide the top by, you have to be able to divide the bottom by the same number. You have to get a whole number, not a decimal. Let's look at 30%. what would the fraction be for 30%? Jimena?
Um,
So give me the first number.
30 out of
30 over 100. And then Jimena's thinking ahead saying, whew, I can simplify that. What are you going to divide out of it, Jimena? Yeah, you could divide a 10 out. 30 divided by 10 is 3. 100 divided by 10 is 10. I can't divide any other number out of 3 and out of 10. So that's as simple as I get. I could have divided it by 2 and then divided it by 5, and I would still get 3/10 as my answer. So whether you divide out twice or you get that big number right away, if you found that 10 right away, it doesn't matter as long as you simplify down as low as you can go and you get 3/10 as your answer. One more. What would 5% be, Melanie? 5 over 100. Is that as simple as we can get, or should we? What can we divide out, Melanie? 5 divided by 5 is 1. 100 divided by 5 is 20. I have a 1 on top. I know I can't get any simpler than a 1. So that tells me right away that's as low as we can go. The bottom row, I'm going to have you do on your own for work time. Let's look at our next section. This time we want to convert from a fraction to a percentage. Our focus goes to the denominator of the fraction. What do we want it to be? Magic number. I should see every hand up. What is our magic number with percents? Oh my goodness. What is our magic number? Marina, what's our magic number? 100. Why didn't you raise your hand? Instead of working ahead, we will have work time. We don't want to waste our time working ahead. We want to listen. Our magic number is 100 because percent means out of 100. So that denominator we want to make to be 100. Any numerator over a denominator of 100 represents the percentage. Not every denominator will be 100 though. We do have some friendly denominators. Below are some friendly denominators. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50. Why are those friendly denominators? Callie? Because they can get to 100 easily. What do we multiply 1 by to get to 100? Callie? 100. What do we multiply the 2 by to get to 1? Oh, do I need to move up? You guys got to tell me when I have to move up. Sorry. What do we multiply the 2 by to get to 100, Lauren? 50. What do we multiply the 4 by? Jimena? What do we multiply the 5 by, Liam? 20. What are we going to multiply the 10 by, Madeline? What do we multiply the 20 by, Bryn? Yeah, so that 20 is going to be by 5. What do we multiply 25 by, Ava?
4.
And what do we multiply 50 by, Zelda?
2.
So is it important that we put these in our notes? Yeah, because you're going to be using those. And guess what? On our help sheet, when it's time to take the test, you can put friendly denominators. Okay, so you can put those on your help sheet. We're going to use these to convert our fraction to percentage because we've simplified these fractions down. Now we want to bring it back up to 100 so we can take that numerator for our percentage. So if I have 3/5, I want to go to 100 as my denominator. What do I multiply that 5 by to get to 100, Anime? 20. I look up here and I see 5 times 20 is 100. So I know I'm going to multiply by 20. Whatever I do to my bottom, I do to my top. So I need 3 times 20. Lauren? 60. Now, can I tell what my percent is? If it's 60 out of 100, what is my percent, Lilia?
60%.
60%. Notice how that percent sign goes after the 60. We want to be proper with our math. Put the percent sign after the 60. Circle it so you know that's your final answer. Let's look at our next one. 9/25. What is my first step? Jimena?
First, you have to find out what 25 times what equals 100.
Yeah, we want to make that denominator out of 100. So I can look up at my friendly denominators and say I have a denominator of 25. I know it's 25 times 4. So I'm going to multiply by 4. So what is my numerator going to be, Ava?
36.
36, because 9 times that 4 is 36. So what is my percent? 36%. Do we need to have that percent sign there? Yes. We need to show we are talking about percents. It is important. So you should not just write a 36 for your final answer. It should be 36%. Let's look at our next one. 2/1. What is my first step, Zelda?
You multiply it by 100 to get 2 to go for 100.
Yeah, we want 100 as our denominator. So Zelda looked up and said, well, it's got to be 1 times 100. So what is my new numerator, Zelda?
200.
200, because 2 times 100 is 200. So what is my percent? Madeline? 200%. Let's do one more together. 35/50. What is my first step, Lilia?
You have to multiply the 2.
Yeah, because we know we want to go to 100 as my denominator. And I know to go from 50 to 100, I'm multiplying by 2. So 50 times 2 is 100. What is my new numerator? Lilia? 70. 35 times 2 is 70. So what's my percent, Lilia? 70%. So notice how I'm putting in that little bit of extra work and writing it out. That is called showing your work. So can some of us do this as mental math? Yup. Is that showing our work? Nope. So I expect to see what you are multiplying by, what your fraction is over 100, and then your percentage for your answer. Why do you think it's important that we show our work? What do you think, Ava?
Because like if you just made a little mistake, you can tell by
Because if we make a mistake and we get the wrong answer, when we show our work, we can see where we went wrong. Maybe I would have thought 35 times 2, I put 75%. And I could say, oh, that's where I went wrong. I multiplied wrong. The other thing is it's easy to make those simple mistakes when we do it as mental math. When we write it down, it helps stop us from making those simple mistakes. You will finish those 4 on the bottom. And let's look at our second page. Our second page, we have word problems, but it's going to be the same thing. So don't look at that and go, oh my goodness, it's a word problem. I don't know how to do word problems. Nope, we're going to break down our word problems to see what we need to do. So Shevin Kultz, he's Russian, silly Shevin Kultz. The famous basketball player made 60% of his shots one game. What fraction of his shots did he make? So what do you think I have to do? What do you think? Yeah, because it says what fraction of his shots. So I know my percent is 60. How do I turn 60% into a fraction? Remember, that was the first part of that first page, Liam. So I want 100 to be my denominator. What am I going to put as my numerator? Yeah, that's 60. Am I done?
No, you have to simplify.
Oh, I have to simplify. What can I divide out of 60 and 100? What is one thing I could divide out, Lauren? I could divide a 10 out. 60 divided by 10 is 6. 100 divided by 10 is 10. Oh, I'm not done yet. What else can I divide out, Connor? I can divide it by 2 also. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Am I done now? Yes. I can't divide anything else out of 3 and 5. Liv.
You also could have divided it by 20.
I could have divided by 20 right from the start. Do we get the same answer? Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you find the big number right at the beginning or if you divide multiple times, as long as you simplify as far as you can go and you get the 3/5. So you might have seen the 20 right away. You might have divided it by 2, divided it by 2, divided it by 5. You could have divided it 3 times and you still would have gotten the right answer. Either way, it's okay. So in our history class, you have taken 2 tests. You record 18 out of 25 on the first unit and 17 out of 20 on the second unit. What percent did you get on each unit test? So if we want to look at our first test, what percent did I get if I had 18 out of 25? So I know that's 18 out of 25. How do I find my percent? Layla? I got to multiply by what? Why would I multiply by 4, Layla? 25 times 4 gets us our magic number of 100. So what is my numerator going to be? Is it going to be 18 still? Why not, Liam?
Because you multiply 18 times 4 and you get 72.
I need to multiply 18 times 4. Whatever I do to my bottom, I have to do to my top. 18 times 4 is 72. So what percent is that? 72%. So that's my answer for the first unit. Now I need to find what percent I got for my second unit test. That one I got 17 out of 20. Zelda?
You need to change it to, you need to multiply it by 5.
Why am I multiplying by 5, Zelda?
Because 20 times 5 equals 100.
Good. So what does my numerator become?
85.
85, because 17 times 5 is 85. So what percentage is that?
85%.
85%. Now my B question says, how much better was your percentage on the second unit than the first? How much better was it? What do you think, Dom? 85 minus the 72%, and I get 13. So it was 13% better. Okay, so we've got turning our percents into a fraction. We've got turning our fractions into percents and how to read those. So we have our second one is look at those group of questions. You're going to figure out how to answer that. Are you going from fraction to percent? Are you going from percent to fraction? If you finish before class time is done, remember we have Khan Academy due on Thursday night. We have that math packet number 5 we can work on. We have practice work for any retakes that we want to do. Practice work needs to be done by Friday because Friday is a retake day. So if you get your practice work done early, make sure your name's on the top, turn it into the blue tray so I can start correcting them so we'll be ready for retakes on Friday. If you get your math packet done early, make sure your name is on it. Turn it into the blue tray so I can correct it and you can fix up your mistakes trying to get that 100% on your math packet. If you are watching this from home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.